Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. I need to adjust this microphone. There we go. And as always, I do these videos in one take, so we will go forward with it. We have a question here from YouTube user J Nikau. I apologize if that is not how your YouTube username is pronounced. It was posted about 2 weeks ago, and it was posted on our video from August the 19th of 2022 entitled, "Can there be discrimination in one small part of a business or even under just one manager?" And Jay Nikau asks, "Hi, I have a question about digital forensics in a discrimination case. Is this a common part of discovery? If you wanted to get text messages, emails, and phone records, is this hard to do? Is there some legal thing that needs to be established prior to getting that info, or can you just request it?" Okay. So, you are now, I think, smarter than about half of employment attorneys already, because you asked this question about digital forensics. And you ask, is this a common part of discovery? About half the time, about half the time, in cases operated by about half the attorneys, it is. The other half of attorneys are just, in my opinion, committing rampant acts of self-loathing and malpractice. Because obviously you would want these things, right? You're going to have set things you look for, right? So like, you do have to have some specificity, but when you're structuring your requests, what you need to do is get it in a word searchable format. Like you're gonna make your discovery request for documents, your document request, right? And that is roughly where your e-discovery and your digital forensics are going to go. That's the fight where that's going to take place. And what you need to make sure is that you get file formats that can be word searched. And that's going to be very key. And I'll explain why. So I'll give like an example. There's a million different reasons why word searchable file formats are really important here. But I'll give an example that's just quick. Racists and people saying racist things have a very high typo rate. They also have an incredibly deep lexicon of coded language and racial slurs. So there is no way that any one employment attorney will know all the racial slurs of all the racist communities in all the backwaters and urban centers of the U.S., let alone all the racial slurs that come into the U.S. to be used by communities that use different languages where English is not their first language. So you end up with hundreds of thousands of terms and words that are important to look at, and all the permutations of those words under different dialects and under different misspellings. And you need to have a file format that lets you run a search for a preset database of those terms, right? So if you have if a race case comes in, ideally, your employment firm is going to have generated hundreds of thousands of things that they want to look for in that race case. And some of those things are just going to be like general negative terms. Like if folks are generally saying negative things, I want to see it because I want to see if it was motivated by racism. But it's also going to be all the racial terms that we've ever found ever, and that like other firms that we collaborated with have ever found. And all those misspellings, right? So this is how cases are won in 2022. I wish it was still 2021 so I could say it was won in 2021. But it doesn't. We don't need to rhyme. Like, this is incredibly important, and you get it, Jay Nikau. You get it. And yes, you can get those things. It is going to be a fight. like defense counsel there will be motion practice. They're going to try to fight with you. They're going to try to like not give you things. They're going to try to say you don't need those. It's too broad. You're asking for irrelevant information. We have confidentiality issues. We need a special magistrate to talk about discovery. All these things. There's going to be tons of motion practice around that if you're in federal court potentially. But ultimately, the law in almost every jurisdiction I'm aware of is on your side. So ultimately, if your attorneys are doing a good job, you should succeed in getting these documents, right? Getting these electronic forensic files. I mean, you're asking if there's some legal thing that needs to be established to get that info. Are the legal standards for discovery and the motion practice goes way beyond what I can provide you in a YouTube channel. I just want to be upfront there. But the general notion is you need to show why you need these things, right? So like it's really easy to get payroll data if you have a disparate pay claim and you're like, hey, so your payroll data, I need to see if the people who self-identify as male get paid more than the people who self-identify as female, right? You can make a very clear case as to why you need that payroll data, right? By the same token, you can say, I need the internal instant messenger and the text messages and the emails because people are retaliating and seem to be collaborating in the retaliation efforts to get my client. So therefore, I need to see their communications to see what they're communicating about, to see how they're coordinating the retaliatory and discriminatory acts, right? So the quickest shorthand here is you need to convince a judge as to why you would need it. Like you need to have a good reason as to why you would need it. That is not the actual standard. And you need to be speaking with your counsel wherever you are as to the standard where you are. But that is the best and most broadly applicable shorthand in terms of like what you're trying to show. You can just request it. And here's the issue is defense attorneys this is the last part of your question. Can you just request it? You can just request it, but defense attorneys are paid by the hour. So even if they think they're going to lose on that motion, they're going to fight you because they get paid to fight you. And because if your attorney doesn't know what she or he is doing, it's entirely possible the defense counsel could win or wear your attorney down, right? So they will absolutely fight you 9 times out of 10. But it seems to me like you're doing an incredible job. I don't know if you're an attorney who's like new to the field or just a really intelligent pro se litigant, but sincerely, I applaud you. And I very much am sitting here hoping that you end up getting paid and that you find what you're looking for in that forensic data and that you get all that forensic data and that you get paid for whatever was done to you. Good luck. If this was helpful, like and subscribe. It does help me to help a lot more people just like you. Take care.